Hi everyone, it's your Maven of Mystery, and it is about 7:30 in the morning. I'm not usually up this early, but Fields and I are going to go see Once Upon a Deadpool, and the show is at 12:30. Anyway, so I am thinking about a few things. Right now I'm getting ready to make Hawaiian bread, but he wanted jalapenos in it, so I am chopping jalapenos, and I'm not using rubber gloves like I usually do, so I have to remember, don't rub my eyes. Um, anyway, I have been, well, you know that I've been sick a lot. It was, I started off with cellulitis that turned to sepsis, and I almost died. And the reason why I got sepsis was because I was extremely overweight. I didn't have good mobility, and I was also on Remicade, which lowered my immune system, and I was susceptible to any infection. And I got cellulitis, and we didn't pay attention to it, and that's how it got into sepsis. Anyway, after after that, I got sick again. I was in ICU, almost died again. And then they put me on hospice. So I was sent home to die, basically. Actually, they wanted to put me in a nursing facility, but no. Anyway, during my hospice, well, before hospice, they sent me home to die because one of my lungs wasn't functioning. And they wanted to do some procedures, but that included the possibility of being intubated. And I've been intubated twice. And I can tell you, it's not like the TV shows where they're just lying there, with that thing in their mouth and down their throat. And the first time that I was intubated for 11 days, and I was sedated for 9. And in the sedation, I knew there was something wrong. And in my delirium, I kept trying to take the tube out. And when I couldn't get the tube out, when they prevented me from doing that, then I had extremely heinous dreams, really bad. It was delirium, and the people that would appear, the CNAs, the nurses, whatnot, they looked like they were CG. Oh my God, it was the scariest thing you can imagine, and I really felt like I was in hell. And I would have these ideas of how I could escape, and all of them included reaching up and taking that thing. It felt like it was in my mouth, not really in my throat, and so I thought that I could just pull it out. Anyway, the second time I was intubated, my blood pressure kept going lower and lower, and if I fell asleep, it would go too low. So I had to be awake. And that time, they had to put mitts on my hands. It was, oh my God, it was unnerving. And not only was I trying to get the tube out of my mouth, I was trying to get these mitts off of my hands. It's not funny, but it is, in a way. So I was a problem child. They, they had a hard time. One time I got the mitt off of my left hand, and the nurse slapped me. I was like, kind of like, don't do that. You have a mitt on your hand 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. See what you do. Anyway, so now I'm on hospice. Well, not now, but in my story. And I see a nurse once a week. I have an aide that comes twice a week. And one day the nurse said, I hear breath sounds in both of your lungs, which was amazing. Shortly after that, I graduated from hospice to home health. And so I still had the nurse coming to the house. Supposed to have a doctor, never saw one of those. Anyway, still had an aide, and then, but this was home health. And I had physical and occupational therapy. Oh, I wanted to let you know that when I was intubated the first time, I lost my ability to walk, so I was bedridden. They discharged me to a rehab facility, and that was, never ever put me in a nursing home because just shoot me. Anyway, so I got better. I ended up being able to walk again through physical therapy and occupational therapy and really hands-on care that I did not get at the nursing home. Anyway, and then I was able to go to my primary doctor, and she sent me to some specialists. She was concerned about my creatinine levels, which is the kidneys. And so I went to nephrology and found out at that time I was at stage 4 kidney disease, which in stage 4, you eventually get on dialysis and then need a kidney transplant. And I didn't want that. And I asked him, if there was something I could do to prevent that from happening. And he said that I had to lower the potassium, my potassium intake. And so I started, he gave me parameters. It was 2,500 milligrams of potassium a day. So I started doing that. And my creatinine levels didn't go down. And I thought, what am I doing wrong? And I found out that some of the foods that I was eating were still high in potassium. So I extracted that from my diet. I was also sent to a cardiologist and found out I had congestive heart failure. And you can live with congestive heart failure, but you have to watch your sodium, cholesterol, fats, that kind of thing. And so I got parameters for that. And I found an app that could help me keep track of that. Plus, I had diabetes, so that was no sugar, low carbs, that thing. And there is no one diet that takes care of all of those things. I had to do it for myself. There were times when I was in the hospital, I had fluid around my heart and lungs, so I was in ICU again, cardiac ICU. But when you're in the hospital and you have what I had. Basically, whatever specialty you're in there for, that's the diet that you get. So when I was in cardiology, I got the heart diet, which is higher in potassium because potassium helps blood flow, and so we had to bring my own food. I couldn't eat what they were giving me, and so that's the way I stayed on my food plan while I was in the hospital. No matter which specialty I was in, I had to bring my own food because they couldn't meet my needs. My son at the time did a lot of cooking for me, did all my cooking for me, because I wasn't able to, I still had mobility issues and things. So he followed my food plan. Now, most people wouldn't like my food plan. When you're low potassium and low sodium, it's not the most flavorful food plan. But here's my choice. Eat this way and live, or go for flavor and die. For me, food is a matter of life or death. And I choose life, so yeah, maybe I don't have the diet that most people prefer. I have a chef friend who it just kills his chefly sensibility that I don't cook with salt. I don't bake with salt. I don't cook with salt. I don't add salt to my food. Sodium is in a lot of things. You can get sodium in celery. I mean, so there's a lot of natural things. I mean, you're not supposed to live without sodium. It's very hard. It's not good for your body. But you can find it in other places than the salt shaker. And the same thing with potassium. You know, if you don't have salt, I mean, I'm a label reader. I go for the nutrition facts all the time. And I have found that if you have a low sodium diet and you go for the low sodium foods or no salt foods, they add potassium. So I have to be careful about what I eat. And it kind of makes me crazy when people want me to eat salt. And I know that, like, if I went on Chopped or any of those food contests or stuff, I would lose because I don't cook with salt. And they call it seasoning. They call salt seasoning. For me, salt isn't seasoning. Seasoning is cumin or oregano, or that's seasoning to me. Salt is salt. I used to love black pepper. I can't have it. Not good for your kidneys. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that I can't have. And I'm not unhappy about that. I mean, I'm glad to know what I can do to save my life. Please don't make me eat pepper. Please don't make me eat salt just because you think it's tasty. It's not tasty for me anymore because I've been without it for, 2 years now. 2 years I have not eaten salt or pepper. Please don't make me. I know that, you know, you feel sorry for me, or you don't want me to go without what you consider flavor. I don't consider it flavor. I consider it death on the plate. So I don't know how to tell, you know, people this in person. So I just have to talk about it with you guys. I hope you understand. Don't kill me. Jalapeno, that's seasoning to me. Anyway, that's my little talk. And now hopefully I can stop thinking about it, because I've like put it down on paper. I've put it on video. Now you know how I feel. And don't be mad at me because I don't like salt. It's not that I can't have it. I can't. You know, I went to drive-through. Anytime I go, and I don't go very often, but I ask for salt, no salt on my fries, which means I have to wait a little bit longer. But I want to live, so I'll wait. I will wait for no salt fries. And the thing about it is, since I've adopted this food plan, oh, also the app that I was talking about earlier, My Net Diary, it's been a godsend. But anyway, since I have, you know, been watching everything that I eat because I have to, I've lost 230 pounds. 230 pounds. I've lost a person. I have about 85 pounds to go. So by the time I'm finished, I'll have lost 2 people. I was telling my friend, I used to be a crowd. Now I'm 1.5 people. So anyway, that's all I wanted to say. And sorry I wasn't looking at you. I didn't want to cut my fingers because I'm, you know, doing this. Hawaiian bread. Hawaiian bread today with jalapeno. The recipe I have makes 3 loaves. One of them's going to be with cheese. Fields doesn't want cheese on his jalapeno Hawaiian bread, but I do. So I'm going to do one. And that's it. Have a good day. I hope to see you later. Did I turn it off?